Welcome to the MOTO Freak channel. Greetings to all viewers, subscribers, and supporters. I invite you to subscribe to the channel and share videos. In this episode, I will tell you about the 2.0 Tsi engine, also known as Tfsi. 2.0 Tsi/Tfsi engines, produced by the Volkswagen Group, Audi, VW, Skoda, Seat, are some of the most popular drive units on the market. They have gained recognition thanks to the combination of good performance and relatively low fuel consumption. However, they have evolved over the years and, depending on the generation, have struggled with various problems. 2.0 Tsi/Tfsi engine versions generations. There are several main generations of 2.0 Tsi/Tfsi engines, and their history is key to understanding the differences in reliability. EA113, older Tfsi initial versions, e.g. those with 200 HP, with turbocharging and direct injection. Camshafts were belt-driven. There were problems with worn camshaft lobes and moderate oil consumption. EA888 Gen 1 and Gen 2. 2008-2011/2015 These generations are the most problematic in terms of excessive engine oil consumption, even up to 2 to 3 liters per 1,000 kilometers. The problem was caused by a faulty design of the piston rings. This often led to carbon deposits and even engine seizure. These engines had a timing chain drive, which was also problematic, chain stretching, tensioner failures. EA888 Gen 3. After 2011/2015, this generation was significantly improved. Different pistons and a dual injection system, indirect plus direct, were used, which effectively solved the problem of excessive oil burning. The injection pressure was increased, the intake manifold and the turbocharger were changed. They are considered much more reliable. EA888 Gen 3B. After 2015, the Miller cycle was introduced, which further improved the unit and improved efficiency. This generation is also considered to be practically free from oil defects. EA888 Evo 4. This is the latest version of the engine, offering even more power and further improvements. Opinions, advantages, and disadvantages. Advantages: performance. 2.0 Tsi/Tfsi engines offer very good performance, dynamic acceleration, and flexibility thanks to turbocharging. Work culture: they're usually quiet and run smoothly. Fuel economy: new generations in newer generations, 888 Gen 3 and Gen 3B. Fuel consumption is at a good level, and in some cases maybe even lower than in their predecessors. Tuning susceptibility: these engines are very popular among tuners, which allows for a significant increase in power. Parts availability: thanks to the great popularity of VAG engines, spare parts are widely available and at reasonable prices. Disadvantages: excessive oil consumption. 888 Gen 1 and Gen 2. This is the biggest and most expensive disadvantage of older generations. It can lead to engine seizure. Repair is expensive, several thousand zlotys, and often requires replacing the pistons. Timing problems: chain in older generations of the EA888, the timing chain and its tensioner were problematic. The chain could stretch, which was manifested by noise, rattling, and timing errors. Intake valve carbon deposits. In engines with direct injection, all Tsi/Tfsi versions, the problem is carbon deposits on the intake valves, which lead to a loss of power, rough running, and increased fuel consumption. This may require chemical or mechanical cleaning. Ignition coil and spark plug failures. These components require regular replacement, approximately every 60,000 kilometers, and their failures are quite common. Fuel pump failures, both low and high pressure. This can lead to problems with starting the engine, rough running, or stalling. Turbocharger failures, especially in heavily used models. High maintenance costs. In case of failure, although parts are available, repairing more serious faults, such as engine overhaul due to oil burning, is very expensive. Faults and failures in detail. Excessive oil consumption. most often affects E888 Gen 1 and Gen 2 units, produced until around 2015. The cause is faulty piston rings. Symptoms: oil loss of up to 1 to 3 L/1000 km, blue smoke from the exhaust, carbon deposits. Solution: engine overhaul with replacement of pistons and rings, expensive. Stretched timing chain and/or tensioner failure. Mainly affects older generations of EA888. Symptoms: rattling on a cold engine, uneven operation, crankshaft and camshaft synchronization errors, e.g. P0016, starting problems. Solution: replace the entire timing system, chain, tensioner, slides. Carbon deposits on the intake valves. This is due to direct fuel injection, which does not wash the valves. Symptoms: loss of power, increased fuel consumption, uneven idling, difficulty starting. Solution: cleaning the valves chemically, e.g. through the intake, or mechanically, disassembling the head. Ignition coil and spark plug failures. Symptoms: uneven engine operation, misfiring, loss of power. Solution: replacing faulty components. Water pump failures. Symptoms: loss of coolant, engine overheating. Solution: replacing the water pump. PCV valve, crankcase ventilation, failure. Symptoms: characteristic whistle at idle, vibrations, interference during acceleration. Solution: replacing the PCV valve. Fuel consumption. The fuel consumption of 2.0 Tsi/TFSI engines varies and depends on the generation, power, car model, driving style, and road conditions. Newer generations, Gen 3, Gen 3B, are more economical. In the city, depending on the conditions, traffic jams, short journeys, fuel consumption can range from 10 to even 15 L/100 km. Short journeys, where the engine does not reach its optimum temperature, can significantly increase fuel consumption, e.g. 13 to 14 L/100 km over a distance of 2 to 3 km. On the road, when driving calmly outside the city, fuel consumption can drop to 6 to 7 L/100 km. On the motorway, at higher speeds, fuel consumption of around 8 to 10 L/100 km should be expected. Timing. Most 2.0 Tsi/TFSI engines, especially the EA888 family, use a timing chain drive. It was the chain and its tensioner that were the source of problems in the first generations of EA888. In older versions of EA113, timing was carried out by a belt. In the latest generations of EA888, Gen 3 and newer, the design of the chain and tensioner has been improved, which has increased their durability. In case of suspected timing problems, noises, errors, the condition of the chain and tensioner should be checked as soon as possible to avoid serious engine damage. Oil. The choice of oil for the 2.0 Tsi/TFSI engine is crucial for its durability. Always follow the manufacturer standards VW5 04.00/5 07.00 or newer VW5 08.00/5 09.00 for newer units. Type. Usually, synthetic or semi-synthetic oils with low viscosity, e.g. 5W, 30, 0W, 20, are recommended. Change interval. Despite the manufacturer's recommendations for the long life mode, even 30,000 kilometers, it is strongly recommended to shorten the oil change intervals to 10,000 to 15,000 kilometers or once a year. Especially in engines that have struggled with oil burning, more frequent replacement is absolutely necessary. Oil level. Regularly checking and topping up the oil level is extremely important, especially in older generations that may show increased wear. To sum up, 2.0 Tsi/TFSI engines are units with great potential, but their reliability varies significantly depending on the generation. Older generations, EA888 Gen 1 and Gen 2, can be problematic due to excessive oil burning and timing. Newer generations, EA888 Gen 3, Gen 3B, Evo 4, are much more refined and are considered durable, provided they are properly serviced, frequent oil changes compliant with standards. Before buying a car with this engine, especially a used one, it is crucial to determine its generation and service history. Thank you for watching the video, and I invite you to subscribe to the MOTO Freak channel. Greetings to everyone, and see you in the next episode. See you soon.